This video is going to be all about toddler tantrums, sibling jealousy, separation anxiety, and all that comes with this whole minefield that is the mind of a toddler. And oh my goodness, we are struggling. We are struggling massively with James. His behavior has changed, and I know there are a lot of things going on in his life at the moment. We've just welcomed our new baby in the house, so he's not the only baby in the house anymore. He's coming up to 2 years old, and a lot of changes are going on around him. And I'm not downplaying the effect of these changes. I just want to talk about them because they are driving me insane. And I want to get your expertise and your advice as well on how to deal with this whole new child that I have at home now. And what do I do with him and how do I deal with him? It's quite frustrating for us, but it's more frustrating for him. I just feel like I'm failing massively and I don't know how to help him, and I just want to help him. So let's start with tantrums. He has never been a tantrumy child. He's always been very calm, very sweet, very amenable, and quite easy to distract. If he has a tantrum, we have always been able to get him out of that situation quite easily. But now, and by now I mean it's coming up to a month that his behavior changed, and just so happened that I gave birth a month ago. So the tantrums have got worse. I know he misses me. He's spending a lot of time with his dad, which he loves, and they both have such a great bond, and that's something that I'm going to talk about in a little bit about the separation anxiety. But in terms of tantrums, he is just screaming at everything, unreasonable things. You know, if he can't fit a toy in a box, he will get so frustrated and he'll scream and cry and sob and get so angry. And yesterday, sorry, that's my radiator making that noise. Yesterday he got really frustrated at something. We weren't doing anything particularly upsetting. Baby was asleep, so he was on his own with me and Matthew, and he was still really frustrated at something, and he started to play with me, like play with my hands, and he started to play really rough and sort of like pinch my skin and my face. And the more I said to him, James, that's not okay, don't do that to mummy, you're hurting mummy, the more he seemed to do it. And every time that he would look at me, he would then try and do it again. I really didn't understand why he was doing it. I don't know, maybe he was doing that for attention, and like I said, it wasn't that he wasn't getting the attention at that particular moment, but it could have been something that was building up for him. And so that kind of rough play really took me by surprise because he's never been that child. So yesterday I was really sort of like upset at this whole how I handled the situation, because I just didn't know what to do to help him. And all I did was basically say to him, that's not okay, James, you're hurting mummy, don't do that. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do, if I should take a different approach instead. I don't know. What do you guys think? So what do you do when your child starts hitting and getting really rough when playing and doesn't respond to you saying no, don't do it? And that's another thing. Every time we say don't do something, he will go and do it. And I know children do that to test their limits and their boundaries, but again, that's never something that's been a problem with James. These are all things that have come over the last month, and his behavior changed massively. So we'll tell him not to open the cupboard door because it's loose and it's going to break. We'll say, no, James, don't do it, that's dangerous. And I know he understands us because he goes and does it even faster. And we kind of like fear for his safety more than anything with these things that we tell him not to do. And it's the same, like he loves colouring, and he goes out of the room and starts to draw on the walls, and we say, James, colour on your book, not on the wall, and he will run to a corner where we can't get him and start drawing on the walls. It can't just be my son that's like that, and that's why I'm putting this video out, is that I'm feeling very frustrated and very lonely in this new phase, and I just want to know that it's not my child that's doing something wrong, it's just children that are going through the same age, the same things. Perhaps welcoming a new sibling in the family has an impact on them that's bigger than what we know and what we think. So That's the life of tantrums for us at the moment. The second problem is sibling jealousy. Now, I haven't noticed any aggressive behavior from him towards his baby sister. He's been lovely with her. Every time he sees her, he wants to kiss her and hold her and hug her. And he's been very gentle and soft with her, which is great. And that's exactly what we wanted. And we were so happy that he was like that. But he has shown that, I think, in a different way by being rough with us, maybe. I don't know. So what have you guys experienced when you welcomed a new baby into the family? How did the older child react, especially if they were young toddlers? I just want to hear your guys' experience on that. And the third problem that we're coming across, and the one that's taking everything that we have inside us, all our energy, all our patience, is separation anxiety. James has always had a little bit of separation anxiety since the age of 1. When he turned 12 months, something switched in him and he became very, very clingy. He's always been a touchy-feely child. He's always liked being cuddled and held by us. But at the age of 1, he switched and he would not be touched or cuddled by anyone other than me or Matthew, and it became more and more and more, to the point where if we leave his sight, he screams and he gets all blotchy and red as if he is really panicking. It's quite a panic reaction. It's nothing that I've seen before, and we just simply can't calm him down. We can't leave him with anyone without him screaming. Grandparents, uncle and aunties, no one can take him. If we're at home and he can see or hear us, he'll be fine. He won't follow us around. If it's just Matthew and I at home, he is happy and he's fine. But if there's anyone else in our house, or if we're out of the house, he will not leave our sight. He won't stay in the same room with other people without screaming, and he constantly keeps asking for me or for Matthew. It's really tiring and it's draining for us because we have to constantly be reassuring him that he's okay, and we just keep saying to him, it's okay, mummy's here, daddy's here, and you don't have to be worried. It's only grandma and grandpa, you know, and he knows that. He knows who they are and he's familiar with them, and he'll play with them if we are there. But he is just going through a phase, I'd say the last month, where he really started to panic if we're not with them, or if he's been held by someone, even if we're around. And it's, I don't know, it's really difficult because we just can't do anything without him being upset, which upsets us more than anything. If we have to go somewhere and leave him with his grandma and grandpa, we know he's going to scream and he's going to get upset. So that really upsets me. And I don't know what to do to help him. I've been doing what I think is right, which is to constantly reassure him. And if he's asking for me, I'll go to him and give him affection and love. But I just don't know what else to do, and it's not getting any better. He started to get better just before I went into hospital to have the baby. He was getting a little bit better and not as panicky, but then I went into hospital and I had to stay 2 days in hospital, and he went back to scratch. Now, it's not just with me. He is exactly the same with Matthew, and I'd say he's even more attached to Matthew. Oh, I can just hear the baby crying, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But he's even more attached to Matthew than he is to me, and Matthew is doing very well to, you know, keep his calm. But oh my goodness, that boy, it's daddy, daddy, daddy all day long. And yeah, I just want to know if you guys have any suggestions, if you have any tips, any advice on how do I get my lovely baby boy back? What do I do to help him? And how do we get through these things that we're going through? Separation anxiety, toddler tantrums, sibling jealousy, and all of these things. Please, can you help with any tips? I'm willing to try anything that makes my son happy and that makes us happy as a family. So yeah, and let's discuss as well, because if you're going through this, I'm sure that you're feeling like me, feeling like a horrible parent, like you just want to help your child and you don't know what else to do. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you think it's helpful to other mums out there, make sure you share and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. I hope you're doing well. I better go and see to my baby, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.